President Trump has denied telling President Volodymyr Zelensky he should surrender Ukraine's entire Donbas region to Russia to end the war. But there was discussion of Moscow's desire to annex land rather than end the war on its current boundary lines in the White House meeting, according to the Kiev leader. Trump on Sunday insisted that the two leaders never discussed giving up the Donbas region during their closed-door meeting last week after reports claimed his White House meeting with Zelensky on Friday had descended into an explosive shouting match.
"We never discussed that,"
Trump told reporters on Sunday when pressed on whether pushed for Ukraine to accept President Vladimir Putin's terms for a ceasefire. It came after the Financial Times reported Trump chastised Zelensky during their 3-hour sit-down and dismissed maps of the Frontline in Ukraine, as he urged his Ukrainian counterpart to give up swaths of territory to Russia. Ukrainian sources told the Post that the Foot report was overblown, though there was some talk of the Kremlin's wants. Zelensky gave further insight into what really happened behind closed doors during a briefing with reporters in Kiev on Sunday. Rather than pressuring Ukraine to give up its own, including roughly 22% of the Donbas region that Moscow has been unable to seize in more than 11 years of war there, Special Presidential Envoy Steve Witkoff merely mentioned that is what the Kremlin wants from Kiev, Zelensky said. "We understand that Mr. Witkoff is simply conveying what Russia means. This does not necessarily reflect his own view, at least according to him," Zelensky told reporters in Kiev. "I made it clear to him that there are some misleading impressions. The position of the Russians hasn't changed. They want us to withdraw from Donbas, not the entire east, but specifically Donbas. That is, completely from the Donetsk and Luhansk regions." Zelensky said Witkoff had explained Russia's position that Moscow sees Donetsk and Luhansk as its own after incorporating them into their constitution following an illegal annexation referendum in 2020. Mr. Witkoff points out that it was incorporated into their constitution, Zelensky said. "So I explained to Mr. Witkoff once again that if tomorrow Putin adds something else to their constitution, after the war ends in one way or another, will we need to withdraw from some territory again? And if, for example, I amend the constitution of Ukraine to include 2 regions of the Russian Federation, would they then leave those territories? This is a non-functional model." Ukrainian ambassador to the US Olha Stefanishina further called the White House meeting one of the most meaningful and detailed discussions on potential ways to stop the war in a statement Monday. This candid dialogue between the two leaders lays a solid foundation for future efforts to end the war and achieve a lasting and just peace in Ukraine. Ultimately, Trump left the discussion calling for Ukraine and Russia to end the war at the current lines of conflict, something Zelensky agreed to almost immediately. "We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. The rest is very tough to negotiate if you're going to say, you take this, we take that. There are just so many different permutations," Trump said Sunday. "So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people and be done." The Kremlin on Monday rejected the proposal, with spokesman Dmitry Peskov telling reporters that Russia's stance doesn't change. Ukraine remains unclear on what Russia is willing to do in the other regions it occupies in the oblasts of Kherson, Zaporizhia, and Kharkiv, Zelensky said. While Kiev understands the Kremlin wants the entirety of Donetsk and Luhansk, there is confusion over whether Moscow is willing to stop fighting at the front lines in those areas without taking more of the land. "During these conversations, we wanted to understand what the Russians mean exactly," Zelensky said of Ukraine's talks with the White House. "So far, there is no clear position." Asked what should happen to the Donbas region, Trump added, "Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line," he said. "But I said cut and stop at the battle line. Go home, stop fighting, stop killing people." Still, Trump on Monday said Ukraine could still win back all of its territory from Ukraine, a comment he first made 3 weeks ago following a meeting with Kiev on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. "I don't think they will, but they could win it," he told reporters. "I never said they would win it. I said they could win. Anything can happen. You know, war is a very strange thing. A lot of bad things happen. A lot of good things happen." Trump also declined to provide Tomahawk missiles for Ukraine's use.
"If wants it, he will destroy you," Trump is said to have told Zelensky, according to the FT's sources. The tense sit-down came a day after Trump held a call with Putin. Trump, who has also agreed to meet the Russian dictator in Budapest in the coming weeks, has shown growing impatience with Putin of late and expressed a greater openness to helping Ukraine win the war.